what's up, man? So
How
good
are
to
you, sir?
see you. You guys, it's a real honor, pleasure to have Carl Denson stopping by. A lot of you know Carl already, but if not, Carl Denson is a saxophone, woodwind player, band leader. His own band, Carl Denson's Tiny Universe, has a brand new album out.
Gnomes and Badgers.
But I want to leave a link for the new album down below in the info box. You guys,
Appreciate it.
You're going to love it. The whole band's amazing. Carl's amazing. Now, Tiny Universe is the new album, but you're about to go on tour with one of your other bands. What's the other band you're about to tour with?
Oh, you mean the Rolling Stones? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I tool around with those guys every
I heard
once
they're
in a while.
gonna. I heard they're on their way.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They got a pretty good following, you know.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Enormo Dome after Enormo Dome.
Exactly.
Yeah. How? By the way, how is Mick Jagger doing?
Mick's doing great. He's on the mend and he's okayed for the tour. So he's back to his 5K, you know, every night that he's gonna do on the tour.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The guy gets out and runs.
How long have you been playing with them?
I'm going on I think 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a cool phone call to get, I imagine.
It was amazing.
I can brag about you some more. You've played with Lenny Kravitz. I do have to say, and Lenny Kravitz is a style icon, but you stole the show on that Unplugged. You were in your white suit, right? Weren't you in a white suit and you played Let Love Rule saxophone solo on like a Lenny Kravitz VH1 show?
Yes, probably. Way back in the days of yore. That was like 1990, 91.
Do you still play with him? You know
what? I went out with him in 2008.
Oh, okay.
It was the last time we really played together. I did. He saved my life really because I left in '93, end of '93, early '94. And then I was doing my thing, and I kind of had a management upheaval. So 2008, I was kind of rebooting my band. I had done my trio, and I had gone back to my old manager, Eric, and we needed to reboot. So I went out with Lenny. Like, just happened. I went to a show, Christmas show. He was playing in San Diego, and he goes, "When are you gonna come out, play with me some more?" And I was like, "Well, when do you want me?" And he said, "Call me in January," and I thought he's not serious. And called him in January, and he's like, "Yeah, come play with the band, whatever you need." And I did the whole year with him. It was perfect. And then I went back to my own thing, and it was awesome. I got this phone call, and I had actually just bought my first guitar. I was at Guitar Center. I saw my phone when I got back in the car. There was a unknown number that called. And I don't usually answer those.
Yeah.
And so I got home, and it called again, and I thought I was with De La from Slightly Stupid.
Yeah, I know De La.
Working on his record, and I answered the phone, and it was Lenny, and he was, saying that Bobby was sick, and that Mick he had told Mick about me, and it was just like, what the hell? Here's how rock and roll these guys are.
Okay.
So we're in London, and we're playing. First time I played in London with these guys. So we're at the big arena, and we're doing sound check. Did a couple of weeks of rehearsal, and now we're ready to do a show. And so we get back to London, and we're standing on stage after sound check, and I walk up to Keith, and I go, "So Keith, what do you miss like coming back home?" Because he lives in Connecticut now.
Oh, okay.
I go, "What do you miss when you come back to London? Like fish and chips or whatever, blah blah blah." And he goes, "When I was a kid, it smelled like coal oil and piss." I miss that. Yeah, those guys. There's
no one more legendary that's still.
They're
doing
just
that.
OGs, they're the real OGs, and it's fun going through the catalog and hearing them play their own catalog and realizing like the time periods, because I'm old enough to remember when Miss You came out. And they were doing the bass, oomba, oomba.
Yeah.
And that was for me as a black kid, as a black musician, at the time, we were into Sly Stone. So when Larry Graham started doing that, it was like, okay, that's what we're doing. And then, here years later, a couple of years later, they were pretty much onto it. And all of a sudden, Bill Wyman's pulling that off, and you're like, okay, they're hip,
they're
and it was
listening to the stuff,
it was like a big deal, like for it was one of those things that I didn't really listen to the Rolling Stones as a kid, only occasionally hearing them on the radio.
Yeah.
But as a black kid, you know, there were certain things that translated into the black community like that, like Elton John, Benny and the Jets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there were certain things where you're like, ooh, that's funky. You know?
Nice. Carl, I have a musician question for you.
Okay.
What tips do you have for guitar players like me to, you know, to back up horn players better?
Listen. If you can't hear the horn player, like really hear him, not just loud through an amp, through a monitor. If you can't really hear them actually playing, play softer.
Yeah.
Just pull yourself that. Like always be aware of that. You know, there's.
What about busyness?
Well, yes. I mean that goes for that goes beyond horn players. That goes to singers. You know, I think there's a point where you just want to be. I think listening to yourself is really important. Yeah. You know, and realizing like, is that musical what I'm playing right now? You know, like spending time listening. You know, record shows and listen to what you play and actually like see, does it compare to a record? You know, would you hear that same thing on a record? If you're playing a like ching 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 ching, and then you listen to the recording of that same song or something of the same style that you really appreciate, are they playing that much? Right. You know, really compare.
Yeah.
Compare yourself to your heroes.
Listen up, folks. I'll try and take that to heart myself. You know, I got to play with you for about a week or close to 2 weeks because of the rehearsals, but I got to, you know, go on the road with you, and it's some of the most fun I've had playing with a bunch of guys. The band.
And by the way,
so
guys,
good.
He killed the gig. It was really good, and he could have had a gig if he wasn't so busy doing this thing.
Thanks. Well, keep that in mind when Keith is asking you about some gigs. Oh, listen, Carl, do you know a really good guitar player?
I'm thinking of putting a band together.
So awesome. Well, I have to mention San Diego Legends, Gray Boy All Stars was another project that you've been associated with, which once again, guys like me in San Diego, you know, we always, you know, admired that lineup as well. So I'm just glad to know you, Carl.
Yeah, it's been a nice ride, man.
Man.
I feel like San Diego, you know, is a real home, and I've had a lot of fun here, and really feel like I've been rewarded by just showing up here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see each other again. Once again, Carl Denson, Rolling Stones, Lenny Kravitz, his own group, Carl Denson's Tiny Universe, Gray Boy All Stars. The list goes on from there, but we'll stay modest.
Yes,
just the Stones and Lenny Kravitz. Keep it real. We don't want to tell them about all of your gigs.
There you go.
Dude, thank you again, man. Carl Denson, you guys, link below. We'll see you later.